Hey, I'm Joubert of Wilson Combat, and today we're going to talk to you about installing one of our tactical trigger units, the TTU, into an AR platform rifle, and some reasons why it's a superior unit out there on the market that you should think about installing in your AR platform rifle. First things first, make sure that the firearm is unloaded and safe. We do have a clear chamber. Make sure you've got safety glasses on because we will be removing a multi-piece trigger unit that is of the mil-spec variety or style, and you've got loose springs that could come flying out of there if you're not careful removing the mil-spec trigger unit that's in this gun. And then we'll show how easy it is to install a TTU into an AR platform rifle. Now that we've made sure that the firearm is clear, we'll go ahead and remove the upper receiver from the lower receiver by pushing the pivot pin and takedown pins to the shooter's right side of the firearm and removing the upper receiver from the lower receiver. We'll go ahead and stick this in our vise block. You will need a punch. Today we're using a 1/8 size punch, and we will drive out the hammer pin and the trigger pin. With a mil-spec style trigger unit, you will want to push the hammer pin out first, and if there's tension, you can use your hammer. This one came out pretty easily. And hold tension on that spring because it will come flying out of there on you if you're not careful. You can keep your hammer pin. These are the Wilson Combat hammer pins that come with our TTUs, but keep these hammer pins and your mil-spec unit in case you ever need spare parts in the future. But be sure when you install the Wilson TTU that you use the hammer and trigger pins that are supplied with these units. They won't back out on you, and you don't have to have additional screws or anything like that to hold the unit in place. Pop that hammer pin or the trigger pin out and slowly remove everything out of the top of the lower receiver. Now you've got a clear pocket to install the TTU. We're going to install the ETU. All the parts in this unit are DLC finished. Give it a little bit more protective barrier for corrosion, and it also self-lubricates, and it's a very nice finish. You will want to put the selector in the fire position to give you a little bit more room to get the back of the housing underneath the selector. Everything drops in real nice, and then you will want to use the supplied hammer and trigger pins. The side that has the little space on it, you'll want to start with that and insert from the left side of the unit. Make sure your holes are lined up and push that in. You will have to give that a little tap, and these grooves on these pins are designed to hold the pins in place so they won't back out, fall out, and really cause you problems down the road. And that is one of the unique designs that we have. And then when you're installing the hammer pin, you might have to get kind of behind the trigger and push up and kind of manipulate the top of the hammer and the back of the trigger to get those holes lined up. Push that pin in as far as you can, take your hammer, and you've installed a tactical trigger unit from Wilson Combat. Now what's left to do is put your upper back on, give it a quick function. You're ready to go to the range. So we just installed the ETU M2 unit into this AR. The ETU M2 is a 2-stage trigger. It is all the parts in it do have the DLC finish, and then we have the standard M2, which is typically what's installed in all of our rifles, standard unless specified otherwise by the customer. This is pretty much the same unit as the ETU, except it doesn't have the DLC finish, but it's still a great trigger. It is a 2-stage trigger. Then we have the 3G TTU, which is also a 2-stage, but it's extremely light. It's our lightest trigger that we offer, especially in a 2-stage. And it feels like a single stage, but mechanically is a 2-stage. This is my pick of the litter personally. I like that light pull, and I like the feel of a single stage trigger, but the kind of added bonus of a 2-stage mechanically. Then we have the 9mm TTU that we install in all of our AR-9 carbines. The biggest difference with this one than the other ones is the size of the hammer itself. There's more material there, which creates more mass, more inertia when striking the firing pin. It better aids in igniting hard primers that can be found in some 9mm ammunition. And then the last of the 5 2-stage units that we have is the H2, which was designed in conjunction with Paul Howe. That's where the H comes from in H2. It's a little bit heavier of a trigger pull than the other ones, and it's designed primarily for military law enforcement applications where you want to have a little bit more weight in your trigger pull for safety precautions. Moving on to the single stage triggers, we have the ETU 1S, which is the DLC finished parts in a single stage. We have the standard single stage, which is the same as the ETU, just less the DLC finish. And then the final single stage is the mill, which is again similar to the Paul Howe, a little bit heavier than the other single stage units that we have for military law enforcement applications where they like a single stage trigger, but they need a little bit heavier weight in the pull for safety measures. Any of these units would be great in your AR platform. They are designed to go in any AR-15, most AR-10s, and a lot of the AR-9s out there that have a trigger pocket designed similarly to AR-15 styles. Great units, easy to drop in. These units are designed to be fully drop in. You don't have to take your grip off to remove tension on the selector spring, take your selector out to create room to get the unit in there, and then put everything back together. All that's kind of a hassle. Push the hammer and the trigger pin out, take out your mil-spec components that are in your firearm, drop one of these in, reinstall the hammer and trigger pins, and you're ready to go to the range. Thanks for watching today. Again, I'm Guy Joubert with Wilson Combat. If you have any requests for other installation or how-to videos, please put them in the comments. Your comments are what drives future content. Keep that in mind, and we're willing to share with you anything that you ask for the most part. Don't get crazy on us. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, click the like button, share it to all your friends, do all that good stuff. Appreciate your time, guys.